Fourth, they want us to have a concert there in 2025.
Hoping against hope, one more person shows up, and not hoping as much as all these people are hoping. So,
Well, we've got a form.
is 4 enough? Oh, it's just not waiting, this is all you're actually.
We got a lot to do.
That's exciting. That's how we do it, right? Labs are so I'm very glad.
Well, I mean, I would have never been doing this while I'm doing it. And I've not been asked by somebody to do it. That's just what it's part of all the instructions. I tried to do, what I tried to do is not go away with lives. She was thinking of that story.
My. Yeah, well, I'm surprised there's any grass to cut that hadn't been irrigated. Yeah.
It's not, so,
Yeah,
you know, the weeds stick up, that's the thing.
that's true.
I haven't been on grass for 5 weeks because it's supposed to grass is up and it's not, but it's, The deer still enjoy it because I've had, let's say, overabundance of that is deer in my front yard. It hasn't grown much, so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm ready, everybody. I'm going to call the July meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission to order. And welcome to everybody who's come either to listen, to present, or both. We're glad you're here. And I encourage you to read the statement at the bottom of the agenda, which will tell you why we're here. And we're all happy to be here, I think. I would like to hear a motion to move our annual business meeting to the conclusion of today. Do I hear one?
Motion to move it to the
Okay.
end.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, second?
I'll second that one.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. So the first item of new business is the request of Gospel Community Church to install a sign and mailbox at 1101 Floyd Street. Is there someone here to speak to that? All righty, if you would come up to the table here and have a seat.
I can do that.
Tell us your name and address, and then explain to us your request.
I'm Steve Timmons. I'm the Director of Facilities for Gospel Community Church Incorporated. You want the business address or my personal address?
I think personal, does it matter? No, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Well, business address in this case is 1101 Floyd Street.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Timmons. So if you would explain to us what you're asking.
So we recently leased space in that left building to a new tenant who's very active in mailing packages in and out of the building. And they're not huge packages, but they're numerous. And for security reasons, we just can't leave the front door unlocked for any delivery people to come in or leave. And so they asked if they could install a box like this, just inside the alley, as was, yep, right there, where it says mailbox here. Is there a close-up of that area? Yeah, so the red arrow on the right-hand side of the door there indicates about where it would be. That's about the size of it. It's much darker than that. It will blend in pretty well with the black metal fence that's there. The other request that they had was to put their Proven Ministries sign outside on a couple of 4x4 posts to the left of the door so that people who come to the church can pick the correct door out of the 15 options that they have to get in that building. So that's basically the request. And that's a little close-up, mock-up.
Are there questions, comments? Do I hear a motion
I'll make the motion.
to approve? Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Peter, we're on just item 1
Okay.
from the Gospel Community Church.
Thank
So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. You're good to go, and you'll hear from Eve.
Okay.
And then you have a second request
I
to
do.
extend a fence and close a wall opening on Rivermont Avenue.
Yeah, this is at our property at 1301 Rivermont Avenue. We have the Tennant Hill City Montessori School in this part of the building, and they have had several instances inside the wooden doors here that's an alcove. There are electronically locked storefront glass doors inside of there. So they are trying to get kids out of 2 sets of doors, and they've had several kids just kind of run past here. I think there may be an overhead view. This is right at the corner of Ruffner and Rivermont, and you see in the blow up there on the right where we'd like to put a corral in for the children. They're just to keep them from running out. I would like to just do a 4-foot fence. I think the existing chain link fence is 5 feet. And have double gates there because this is also an ADA access area, so we want to be able to accommodate that requirement. The patch up the hole request is to remove that 500-year-old air conditioner from between the windows there. Just brick that up with matching brick as close as we can.
Yeah, the material of the fence.
Yeah, it's chain link. It's exactly like what's there. Yeah, it's black chain link.
He's already changed it there. Anything else put there would look awkward, I think.
It is going across the front of the
Yeah.
building. I certainly understand the need for safety for sure. But
So, Eve, if you could go to the overhead.
right in front of the doors. Did you have any?
There's already black chain link
Well, I'm just looking at the guidelines.
starting here, and this is all black chain link.
It says will not be approved except for repairs.
Not that that's a favorite fence, but we're trying to match it.
Fences.
Can you
Not
say
necessarily.
it again, Julie? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the guidelines and it says, and I certainly understand that matching what's there and it's a small area and everything. It says chain link are not considered appropriate and would not be approved except for repairs to existing non-conforming fences. So I'm a little bit struggling with it. Is there a possibility of using another material in the same color that's would at least blend? I know it wouldn't match completely, but because it is on Rivermont, I think we need to consider that.
Somebody's in line 2 or 3 behind me that they're taking down black metal fence from their house on Rivermont. Do you know, are you familiar with that fence, and is that something that you would accept?
A black metal fence.
Which one are we referring to?
There's,
That was a problem was put up, actually. I wasn't on the commission then.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a modern looking fence. It's not the material that it's made of. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but there's already black chain link fence there that probably I'm assuming predates the historic district so I think anything else might just look worse, I think. I know I read all through yesterday. Chain link is not something we're supposed to be approving, but since it's already there, you're just adding on a few more feet of it. It is in front of a door, but I absolutely understand why you want to put it there, so. Yeah. So I'm willing to personally, in this case, make an exception about chain link fence since it's just tying into the one that's there. And I guess making it shorter is both a good idea and not a good idea. I mean, because it'll look awkward too if it's shorter next to it, perhaps. But taller, then it looks like you're going
It's a
into a prison. Yeah, so I don't want that.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of wondering, like, because it is going to be a different height, could there be room for using a different material that is a little bit more appropriate?
Why did you choose chain link fence? Just preference or cost-wise?
That's what's already there.
There's already chain link fence there.
Or then that's sole reason why you selected that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it works, it's available. You know, we have, I don't know, how many 100 feet of chain link fence around the playground.
Right.
as it is.
Yeah, I'm with Commissioner Sharika. I mean, I don't have a problem with the chain link fence being installed. I was just curious to know what and why you particularly selected that.
To match what's there.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of struggled to envision what wouldn't look kind of tacked on at this point, since there is chain link there.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'm going to use the right phrasing, but I'll make a motion to accept this as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Did you get that? Okay. All right, thank you very
Cool,
much.
thanks.
Okay, next is the request of Lynchburg Covenant Fellowship to replace the portion of the front porch at 412 Madison. And welcome, Connie. If you would tell us your name.
I'm Connie Snavely with Lynchburg Covenant Fellowship, and the address is 412 Madison Street, and this is our interim board president, Gary Harvey.
Okay, welcome, thank you. So if you would tell us your request, please.
We're requesting to replace the existing porch deck and any of the framing that needs to be done once we get in there and see exactly what the existing status is of the framing, the joist, band joist, and we're going to replace it. We're requesting to use a composite material that was used at Point of Honor. I provided a sample, there it is, that is the unpainted type of material that then we would then paint, and I provided a color, the color for our request.
I'm assuming everybody saw the information about the material. Are there questions?
The porch must be in worse shape than the photos show, because this is not an inexpensive solution to your
Yes.
issue. That's what was mind-blowing to me, was looking at, well, not mind-blowing, I know how much things cost, but it was $24,000, so it must be in really bad shape if you want to
Well,
replace it all.
there definitely is some rotting of the structure, the underneath, which that's, the money starts adding up when we're looking at that. And then just, it's a large porch. It's a front and a side, and the side porch actually has much more rot than the front part. But our thinking is, if we're going to do it, we want to do all of it so that it's taken care of for a long time.
Okay. There are questions? Comments? Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any further questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Just comment.
Aye.
Comment?
Yeah, just a
Sorry.
quick one. Just want to say that having done quite a bit of this kind of work in my background, I'm sure you have a licensed adept contractor, but whatever, you should replace as many joists as possible, even if is the existing one actually screwed in or nailed in, existing planking?
It's nailed.
It's nailed, yeah. That, you'll probably find that you'll have to replace or scab onto quite a bit of them over a period of time. Where the nails penetrate, that is where you have most of the issues.
I probably should have added, I'm also the principal and senior architect with Architectural Partners.
Oh, very good.
Sorry.
Good.
Okay.
And he has reviewed the estimate and proposal.
Okay, well, let's vote again. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just share the previous applicant. You guys might want to also make sure that he talks to the building official because that gate needs to meet egress requirements. So,
I think you've
Okay, next is the request of Mark Smith of M.W. Smith Architect on behalf of St. John's Episcopal Church. Oh, did I skip one? Oh, I'm sorry, Mark, I'm sorry. Request of Kevin and Nancy Brandt to do extensive work at 2021 Rivermont. I apologize for skipping over you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Brandt, owner at 2021 Rivermont.
Okay.
The summary that's up there and was included in your packet is a pretty good summary. We're trying to take the landscaping back a little closer to what it was prior to the introduction in 2007 of an aluminum fence around the front part of the yard. You can see in this photograph that, I don't know, if somebody knows automobiles probably can take a better stab at when that was taken, but you see a low stone wall, the concrete walkway to the front stairs. But this is definitely post 1940, which is when a lot of changes were made to the house. And then if you go through the rest of the photographs, here you can see in 2007 where the fence was added. I don't know if that's when the stone wall was taken out, but the stone wall is definitely gone at this point. The front concrete walk was removed, and this driveway, pea gravel driveway, was inserted into the front yard. It's another photograph of what was what was presented to the HPC in 2007, as well as what's there now in the lower photograph. This is what was there pre-2007. You can see a concrete wall up against the garage. And in the bottom photograph, you can see what's there now, which is the aluminum fence. The wall, of course, is gone. The grading has changed. And in the background of both photographs, you can see that there are a number of properties further away that have the concrete or block wall. And then in the top photograph, again, this is pre-2007. You see the concrete wall or block wall, maybe faced with concrete. You can see some places where a pipe rail was probably cut off the top of the wall, so there must have been some kind of fence there, maybe that matched the pipe railing that was used at the front of the house. You can also see a wooden retaining wall that was introduced, I think, in 2007 when the grading was changed in that area as well. And then here's a close-up of the pre-2007 work where you can see the concrete walkway and no pea gravel driveway in there. And along Loudon Street, we're proposing to use this kind of segmented block wall in place of where the concrete wall had been pre-2007. And then this is the kind of material we want to use for the patio that would go in the backyard of the house. Part of the reason we want to have some steps that go from the back of the house down to Loudon Street is because what's there now, there is a gate there, but when you go out the gate, if the grass is a little bit wet from dew or rain, both my son-in-law who lived in the basement and myself have fallen down on that slope because there's literally no steps there. Mm-hmm. Historically, there were steps that came out of the back of the house. There was a small porch there and went straight down to Loudon Street. And at the far end, or I guess, at the Rivermont end of that concrete wall, there had been some concrete steps that were probably removed at the same time the concrete wall was.
Oh, okay. Are there questions? Julie, do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so. And you guys have been doing an amazing job on this house, by the way. It looks so good.
Thank you.
No, I don't think so.
Are you willing to buy the house across the street and fix that one up? It seems to have stalled again.
We've been wondering what's going on across the street.
Yeah.
So do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, next is Mark Smith on behalf of St. John's Episcopal Church.
And with me is Neil Davison. He's representing the church, and he's a member of the church. And we were here a couple of months ago. So we're back to just the painting of the brick for the old BB&T building. And I think probably one of the best documents that we sent was the little rendering there of showing the building painted. But I had four talking points, or five. Let me flip through all my stuff here. Okey-doke. So I'll just read these off as stating my case. It's a non-contributing structure. It's now a building that's not a standalone any longer as a bank building. It's part of the campus to St. John's Episcopal. And it's a building now associated with the 1928 painted brick church that Stanhope Johnson did, which is the main building. It also had additions in the 50s that were also painted brick by Stanhope. And then it's a building that is really somewhat out of character for that corner, with no one is blending in with the church. As you probably have already seen, they're building the playground behind it and tying that site together. And it's modern brick. Being it's non-historic, it's a 1972 building. It's a hard-fired brick with Portland cement mortar, and painting of the brick is not really an issue with, that you would have with a soft brick and lime-based mortar. I've put some cut sheets in the submittal from mineral-based masonry paint. If you have a brick that's very porous, that's what you would use. We'll do a quick test just for moisture content. Don't expect any. It's insulated, has a vapor barrier in it, 1970s construction. But if we do, and there is any concern about moisture, then we would use a mineral-based paint. Otherwise, it's going to be 100% acrylic, which I also submitted. The color of the paint matches the church building.
This is it, right?
Right, yep. And the trim is matching the trim from the church as well, and that's what that photoshopped rendering illustrates there. So that's,
Thank you.
anything you want to say, Neil?
I don't think so.
Okay, are there any questions, or do I hear a motion?
Well, I'll just say I wasn't here in the last meeting. I think it was maybe the April meeting that you guys were here. And I did go back and listen to all the comments in the video. Since then, had you considered any other options for, I know a big portion of your reasoning was trying to create cohesiveness. Had you considered anything else since then about, the addition on the side or closing in the side or doing anything else, adding a portico or anything else that was suggested, or?
Yeah, there were really no viable suggestions. I mean, it got a little crazy there for a while when we had our initial discussions about maybe changing the windows to a Gothic window, or, the entrance into a Gothic window, with the pointed arch.
And that was suggested by the church members, I think, I remember. Yeah, okay.
And I quickly,
A lot of ideas.
Yeah, sure.
I quickly put the brakes on that because it's just not that building. And I did talk to, just so that I didn't think I was, running amok, I did contact 4 different architects from 4 different firms that know this area. They're Lynchburg architects. And all of them, I mean, I couldn't even start a fight with them on the other side of the conversation. They all said, painting the brick is really the way to go on this. And they said, and this was without even looking at a rendering. But 4 different architects, and some of them were historic type architects as well. All of them have 20 years of experience or more.
Yeah.
So I valued their opinion. But there was no other viable options that I could really come up with.
Okay. I think I do struggle a little bit with the precedent aspect of it. I mean, there are other buildings in that close proximity that are still brick, and not everything is white in that area. And I'm not quite convinced that painting it white will make it fully tied back into the original church building. I think they're obviously very different architectural styles, and I think that's a good thing. I think painting the trim could really do a lot to tone down that bank feel and sort of bring it back into the colors of the church as well. But I don't know, I'm a little bit caught up in that, painting the brick is a really big and obvious display of changing the original character of the building. So, and something that is in a historic district, even though it's not a contributing building. So I don't know, it's something that I'm kind of struggling with right now, yeah.
That's okay.
So-
Do I hear a motion?
I hear you, Julie. I feel like you did lay out a pretty good case, though, with several of the points. So with that, I would be comfortable making a motion to approve as submitted.
The details about the paint in your submission this time is very much appreciated. I appreciated that. It's non-contributing in that when the historic district was established, it was not 50 years old. The building is over 50 years old now. So if anyone wanted to resubmit, it would be considered contributing now because it has the 50-year plus. I just wanted to clarify that. That being said, I will make a motion to approve as submitted.
We need a second.
Yeah, okay. I'll second it then.
Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
All right. You're good to
Okay,
go.
thank you. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
And I think all of the landscape and hardscape and everything else you're doing is going to go a long way to really make that a beautiful, beautiful space.
It's going to be a wonderful addition
Yeah.
back into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Thank you, guys. Okay, Casey, you're back.
I'm back.
Starting off with 465 Rivermont and then moving to 1705.
Yeah, so I'm Casey Service. I'm the architect for this project, 465 Rivermont, which is the last of the houses that Tony owns on that stretch. Similar to the previous 8, whatever we're up to now, we're asking to repair as much of the wood, siding, and shingles as we can, reusing them on the front, and then replacing on the back and side as we come around with new fiber cement. There's an existing driveway to the left in that site plan that's paired up with 471, which was approved previously, that we're proposing a new parking area off the back, off of that driveway. It's under 5,000 square feet with landscape buffers as the rest of them have been. And there are I think there are 3 windows. If you go back to the first, you can see in the top left, that bay window in the first floor, there's a blank spot. There's a window opening there. And weirdly, at each of the bay windows, somebody decided that it was too many windows, and so they boarded over one of them in each of the bay windows. There may be windows underneath what's there. We haven't opened them up yet. if there are, we'll repair them, but if, in case there aren't, we're asking to replace those 3 with 1/1 to match the other bay window. There's a mix, I think, on this one of some different patterns, but we'll match whatever's in the bay window next to it. And I think that's it, right? Oh, and then the paint colors, of course.
I'm really concerned, I like the washed out look this house has had for the last 25 years, we see no details whatsoever. Why would you want to actually show off all the wonderful details? I don't get it.
I know. You know, it's the funniest thing is I ended up using the tan is not so far off the existing yellow.
No, it's not. It's funny. It's very funny. I saw that.
But I sort of like it. It's a little nod, and I think it works. And the red one in the background there that I'm sure you've seen the last couple days has started to get painted. I think they'll play off of each other really well.
Everything you've asked, to my mind, is stuff we've asked for with other buildings that we've approved. Painting up this house, this has been a house I've been praying that someone would
I
do
believe the
something
first
with.
one that you were on the board,
Yeah.
you asked about this house, and I was like, it's going to be the last one.
About a decade ago,
We're
they
there.
repainted it the same color, the same way. And because I saw had a paint crew out there, I was very
Yeah.
excited
Yes.
until they did exactly the same thing.
Yep.
I make a motion, I mean, I don't want to cut off any conversation, I'm already talking too much. I would make a motion to approve as submitted. This is what we've done over and over again on these houses, and he's doing it the right way. You're doing it the right way.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great.
Opposed? Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, next.
So this is a little different.
This is amazing.
This is a non-contributing apartment complex a little further up Vermont. 4 existing structures that are all painted CMU block. And so we're sort of still in the design phase, but I think want to make sure that we have your all's blessing on the outside before we sort of dive too much into the overall. But we're essentially redoing, there's 32 apartments right now. There'll still be 32 apartments. We're planning on cladding all of this with new lap siding and shingle gables, tearing down the concrete motel-style porches and trying to reconfigure the circulation inside to get to the upstairs apartments so that we can make them more individualized porches for the different units. And then in keeping generally the windows and doors, we have to add a few doors, but then keeping the windows where they are, but lowering the sills to put in bigger windows and get more light into the units. And everything site-wise, will be minimal, repairs to existing walkways and parking and everything. As bad as the buildings are, the landscaping is actually halfway decent.
It was sometime about a dozen years or so ago that they repainted it the way it's painted now, and they added a lot of that landscaping in,
Yeah.
which definitely softened the look of the concrete block buildings, so.
Are there questions, comments?
I mean, this seems above and beyond. You don't have to do any of this stuff, honestly. It's there. But you're going to improve it. Yeah, but really,
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to, but also to, for people to want to live there, you have to.
Yeah.
So,
it's, the other buildings you're working on are such terrible shape. These, at least from the outside, are
they're
presentable.
actually reasonable even inside.
That's good to hear.
They're not terrible, but they'll be an improvement.
We think that you're enlarging the windows. Is that compliant? You have no problem with that, right?
I don't think so.
It's technically non-contributing because the building, how old are these buildings?
You said that on the previous one, and I started pulling it up on
Yeah.
GIS because I didn't know the answer to it, and I was in the middle of it. Let me see what it says.
I do know there was a magnificent house there once,
1973.
1973. There you go. We normally don't like enlarging windows, moving doors, adding doors to historic buildings.
But this is a little different.
This is a little different.
Actually a lot different.
It's a lot, yeah.
What was this paint color scheme? Was that part of
That's
this?
Eve's
or was
favorite
it-
part.
I didn't,
It's a-
Eve would love if you guys push back on the paint color, and we might come back with new paint. This was a first stab at it, just to go at. It's like a.
so those are the colors?
That's yeah,
Okay.
and it's having gone through all the like bright and bold colors on Rivermont. It doesn't feel right here. It sort of needs to. Even though this will be an improvement, I feel like it needs to be a background building on Rivermont. So I wasn't trying to do anything too bright and bold. So it's sort of like a taupe body and with some blue accents and white trim.
Are you looking for neon Eve?
And the roof is what color? The new roof is?
The
gonna
roof will
be-
be shingles, just like a charcoal gray,
Charcoal
slate
gray.
gray. Either I think I said charcoal or slate. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, it's 1973, shouldn't it be avocado green and harvest gold? At least the interior should be.
And I do think the software for these renderings sort of mutes the colors a little bit more than when I do the Photoshop, which is
Well,
different.
actually, anything is an improvement.
Yeah, anything would be an
Yeah.
improvement.
So,
I think the tan could be a little lighter, but.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and we may look at it and come back.
Just to
We'll-
provide a little more
yes.
contrast with the roof, but, I
The-
mean, obviously.
we just want a
it's-
general-
I said anything's improvements.
Yeah,
I think the muted idea, I think is a good idea.
yeah.
so do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, is there a second? All righty, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Casey, thank you.
All right, thank you all so much.
Okay.
Encourage Tony to buy some more of those houses down there.
He's got enough other stuff.
What's that?
He's got enough other stuff right now.
No doubt, so.
Okay, next is the request of Shannon Rudelis of Lily Lou Homes to do extensive work at 312 F Street.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, so I submitted something with some photographs. Yeah, there it is. So I purchased this house and we found those shutters in the crawl space. The owner told us that they had been there for years and years. They had been used before on the house. There's multiple paint colors on the shutters right now throughout the years. So we would like to use those shutters with this color here. And this is the paint color for the actual house. And door, and then this would be like the ceiling for the porches. So this is kind of the color scheme. And then so all the trim would be in this color here, more of like a blending white. The roof is going to be a black matte metal, so that's already been approved. I've sent everything over from All Phase Roofing. That's the hardware I'd like to approve. And then the stained glass window. So the color scheme is all around the window. And I have to be honest, I got that window when I purchased this house. It was a very quick purchase. And I was surprised to hear it was in the historic district. There was some confusion about that because all of the homes around us have shingles, vinyl windows, some vinyl siding. So, and then I was told that it was non-conforming, and honestly, it was just a very quick purchase because I got a good deal on it. I should have done better due diligence. So that's kind of what I have. And then I found out 2 weeks later, oh, surprise, it's historic.
Outlines of the shutters were definitely there. Of course, who would store old shutters in someone else's attic anyway?
Yeah.
So putting that back would be great, so. And right now, it's a door?
It's a door, and we actually had to remove the door because water was going in there. The door just goes to nowhere. We did have to remove that and put some plywood up just to minimize the damage that was happening.
So you can see it was a window with the side, yeah. You can see the shadows for the shutters.
Yeah.
Was it part of this application to replace the top right window, or no? Looked like that one was different in the, maybe it's.
The
6/1.
top right window?
Oh, yeah, that one looks
Yeah.
different than, yeah.
Yeah,
Or is that just kinda
that's
staying
just
for now?
there. That's just, that was how we purchased it, so I did not put that in the application.
No problem.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I was planning on doing all new windows in this house, vinyl. I thought it was not historic. I know I was told I could do aluminum, potentially. I did get a quote, and it was 4 times as expensive as the vinyl, 4 times. And it's a little upsetting because all of my neighbors have vinyl windows. So I'm going to pay to have them all restored, but some of them are in pretty rough shape. So they're not going to be good windows, not near as good as what I could have put in there.
Well, restored wood windows will last another.
Yeah, they'll last
50, 75 years, yeah, way longer than vinyl.
But I am paying a lot more to restore
Sure.
old windows.
Yeah.
Vinyl windows sometimes fail, so you get this fog in between them. I know that because we installed them 12 years ago in our non-historic district house, and 3 of them have failed already. So I would say I am not a fan of vinyl windows in any house because I'm having to replace, I think, those eventually. So,
And that happens over and over.
Yeah.
I hear that all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So you're smart to be doing
Yeah.
what you're doing.
plus you have to do it.
The frustration is,
But that's okay.
yeah, well, the frustration is totally understandable, but I mean, a lot of what we see are people, the houses that were either added over time to the historic district after significant changes have been made, or people just went ahead and did things without approval, and then it just never was flagged. So
Yeah.
my
I'm
house
not-
is in a historic district, and I've got vinyl windows, so it's kind of a roll of the dice.
I
but-
don't know if they just did it and didn't get the approval, or if the home, was built previous. I have no idea.
Which historic district is this?
It's Daniels.
Daniels.
But
It's
this
probably-
is F Street. It's a little side street, and there's not much on it, but every home that is on it there's nothing historic about it.
I don't know off the top of my head when that was established in the historic district, but
Yeah.
much of that certainly happened before it was in the historic district.
Right.
The question I guess we have is, the door was not original upstairs. It was not stained glass originally probably either, but stained glass does fit into the era of the house. Is that something that we would approve? I don't know, that one I don't know off the top of my head. I did read through the documents. Is replacing the doors doesn't seem to be a problem. Replacing it with a stained glass window, would that be
Where
an
was,
issue?
did we have, oh, there it is, okay.
And here's the color scheme. We actually got with some designers to design the whole entire color scheme around the window. I think it will look amazing if it's approved, but if I can pass this around
Yeah.
to you guys if you want to.
Is the window going to fill the whole space?
No.
Okay.
I can, it's not as large as what it looks.
In length or in width?
I can give you the dimensions. Well, it will fill a good part of the space, but not what the door was.
The colors. I have no issue with colors.
Can you see the old photo with the window that was once there?
So you're just putting the stained glass.
It's 28 by 3/4 wide and 30 by 3/4 tall.
As opposed to
Yeah.
roughly, what is the?
Well, I don't know what the window size was before, but what was there was a door.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be, that.
So-
Because they took the window out and put the door there.
It roughly that center top window seems similar, if not larger than the top left and right. Do we agree?
Yes, they're actually very similar in size. So
Okay.
there would be symmetry there.
So, but the stained glass window, how does that compare in size?
It's smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we could approve, I don't think I would be comfortable approving that based on the guidelines. To put a smaller, it's not in keeping with like what was originally there, which is what we're beholden
I share the
to.
same feeling that it's so far removed from what was original.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
not really
not
exactly
appropriate.
man. It's not
But if you
Victorian
look-
style in that sense.
There's, I guess, because you can see the house right there, right next door, there's nothing historic about that. There's nothing historic in that area.
I don't think
And it's a
that house
side
is-
street.
is in the historic district. So that's neither here nor there.
Like, I feel for you, and I think like your concept is certainly much improved over the door. I want, I like your idea, I just feel like I can't, based on the guidelines for that center, replacing with a smaller stained glass, when the original is bigger.
But do we know what size the original was? I don't know that we do, because it was replaced with a door. So the window was taken out and a door was put in.
If you put back what?
Yeah, my guess is it was the same.
Like we can see in the picture, it's similar, but a little larger than what was on the left. and
It seems like
right.
long side windows are probably the same.
Yeah.
And the door was just fit, and then the casing was dropped down for the door to fit.
Right.
So I think what we're struggling with is putting a smaller window that even would have been, obviously it's gonna be smaller than a door because a door's larger than a window, but, even smaller width-wise, it just is not gonna look right with the way that the front of the house is meant to be. And it is a very ornate window as well, so, based on what was there previously or what is there now, it's sort of, we just have to go off of what the style of the house is and, keeping consistent with how that would look with the rest of the front. If this was an application to install it in the rear, I don't think that would necessarily be as much of an issue, but, yeah.
Can we look again at the different items? Because I think there were multiple, I think installing the shutters, if we went down it one by one, do we want to proceed to the others on the lighting and then the parking pad? And maybe we can circle back through.
So the parking pad, it is red, it's the pavers. And I would like to do a parking pad that is approximately, for one car, I believe my contractor said 15 by 20, but it would be with the red brick pavers.
It would be to the front, immediate left.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just one side.
Just the one side.
But there is parking on the street, right?
There is. It's very difficult because it's at a slant. It's very hilly, so it's hard to park on the street, but you technically could. I have to pull my car up just to feel comfortable leaving it there.
Are there, if I'm remembering the guidelines right, Eve, if there was parking, then we can keep it as parking depending on the material. Is that right?
Well, there's
But-
something there now where they were parking, and I know that it's not
Okay.
correct. It's just regular gravel that's into the dirt where they had it there. And I know from my previous time being here with the home that I was doing on Cabell Street, I was told that it had to be either pea gravel or the brick pavers. That's why I picked the brick pavers, to kind of tie in with the red brick at the bottom.
But I believe it has to be rear or
Yeah, I
side.
think it's material that's an
Yeah.
issue. I think it's the
It's the
placement.
front,
So was
yeah.
so the existing parking was just gravel that's been laid, right? It's not like there's no slate or anything down there right now?
No, there's no slate or anything down there now.
And I think it's just people have pulled in.
Just pulled in and
made-
then threw some gravel around.
But there's definitely gravel that has been poured down there, because we're gonna have to clean that up. It's difficult to park on the street because of
Sure.
where, with the
Yeah,
incline.
certainly.
Sharp incline, it's difficult, and you can look at that and tell.
And there's nowhere to put it to the side or the back? Is
No.
there? Okay. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah,
Because it's not,
really
it's not an
is.
existing parking
Yeah.
space that was approved to be gravelled. It was something that was just done, so,
And it's not very attractive,
right? Yeah.
so.
Right, so I'm trying to remove the gravel and make it more attractive, but also useful to a homeowner.
And then what on the lighting?
Yes, so the lighting, that would be for the back, actually, because the front, I realized, I was told that we didn't, but we actually do. We have an existing center light. I'm just going to replace that, and that is actually black. That's hanging right now in the center of the front, so I would just replace that with another black hanging center light that's very similar.
Does it have to be replaced?
It doesn't work well. I don't even think it works at all. It's very old. But the back already has one that's hanging. I mean, that's on the side.
Pick of the back.
Right there is the one.
Okay.
So we just need the one. I don't need two.
So if there are no objections, I would like to take each item.
That sounds
And,
good.
because I'm not going to. So do I hear a motion about the first item?
Make a motion to approve shutters.
The shutters,
Can I
yes.
just ask
Can I ask a quick clarifying
Sure.
question? Having measured them, which I'm sure you have, are the shutters the same length as the windows?
Yes.
Okay. so
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, they fit great.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, is
Well,
there a
actually,
second?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I need to withdraw my motion or not, but I just realized in terms of that center upper window, maybe we can't necessarily approve the shutter separate.
Well, I think
I
we
don't
can
think
do
that
the
would-
shutters and then deal with that door,
Okay,
I think.
okay.
Do
As long as
you
it's not
agree,
a-
Eve, or?
I don't think there were shutters on the center.
There weren't.
There were
Let's
no,
see the-
there were no
No,
shutters on the
Is
door.
the one with the red paint? Let's see.
Yeah.
Because it has that decorative
Thank you.
side window,
Okay.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
which I think was retained when they put the door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the side
it's
lights are still there.
Yeah, those
Yep.
haven't changed. So
Okay.
I would say the window opening didn't significantly change sizes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
so we're good.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion to approve?
The shutters, I'll
For
second
the
it.
shutters.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions before we vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay, we're good. Okay, on item 2, do I hear a motion?
I think just based on the guidelines and what was there originally, I think I would have to make a motion to deny the request for the decorative window.
Okay.
Um,
So we have a motion to deny the request for a decorative window. Is there a second?
I would second that, and based on the guidelines.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, which is to deny the request, say aye. Aye. Okay. Number 3. Do we have a motion?
I'm just looking at the guidelines for the driveways and parking lots, and there's very, like, clear language as far as, like, anything that's original can be redone. You know, if it's in the front, but it's original, it can be redone. And then it says if you should not place anything in the front that was not original to the front, so I'm having a hard time. And I certainly understand, you know, your plight. I have street parking as well. It's very difficult at times. I don't know, does anybody have any thoughts about that? It just feels like the guideline language is pretty clear about that.
The guideline language is very clear about that, but I'm torn about this because it is on a terrible hill.
Absolutely.
But
right?
it's parkable. I parked over there when I went over there, and it goes down to Hancock, so.
It is,
I didn't hear
it
what did you
is,
say?
That it's perfectly fine to park on that street. It's a narrow street, but it goes down to Hancock, and,
so you can park, but if there's more than one car, you're like even more at an incline. So if you're the one car that can get in the good parking, then it's still inclined. But if you're a second car, you're even more at an incline, which makes it tricky.
So the street, like, inclines further the further you go
Yes,
down the
and
road?
you can look
Okay.
at the picture and see that.
do I hear a motion about the parking?
I know the guidelines say that we should not approve this.
Yeah.
But I will
one.
vote to approve this because there are guidelines that are guidelines, not laws. And there were guidelines about St. John's Church that we chose to work with. And so I'm going to vote to approve this parking. I could not vote to approve the stained glass window, though I think it would look awesome because it goes so against the, because it's not about my personal opinion about how it looks. The architects that approved the color scheme on St. John's were giving their personal opinion about aesthetics, not about historic preservation,
Right.
by the way. That being said, that one is done. So I cannot vote I will vote to approve the parking. But that's not what you're asking. I don't know if that's what you're asking us to.
Well, I'm asking if there's a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
Before it's seconded, I have a question.
Certainly.
Is it possible to park on there anyway? I mean, will that be problematic if somebody, new owner decides to park their vehicles there even if it's grass?
I imagine it's like if it's wet or like,
It's probably a nuisance
I mean,
for the
so
landscape, but it's certainly possible
They had
to
been
pull up there.
parking there, multiple cars on the grass.
I'm sorry,
It
say
was a
again, please?
rental, apparently. So they had been parking multiple cars on the grass anyways, the owners had been. And then when they decided to rent it out, that remained. So people had been parking on the grass anyways. And I foresee if I were a homeowner, I would park on the grass, even if there was no parking. So I believe that would still happen. I'm just trying to make it look nice versus what's already there.
So I guess I'm afraid that it wouldn't look nice, no matter what you do. It will look like a parking deck.
Parking pad, yeah.
So.
Well, and just as a reminder, at least in the time that I've been on the commission, there have been other applications for parking in the front, specifically houses that have thrown gravel over the grass and over the years just continued to park there, and we have denied them in the past. So I'm just, again, to bring it back to precedent, it's difficult to approve one and deny another, and approve one and deny another.
And that would be the same for St. John's.
Well, I voted no on that. so.
I know, you were being consistent.
Yeah.
And some of us are torn.
Yeah,
by-
and again, I totally understand that I'm torn as well, but I think in order to have any leg to stand on in the future, I think consistency is important, so.
You're right. You're right.
And
There's
I think
also
there's a
some
big
remnants
difference with
of-
St. John's, that it is non-contributing and it's tying into something.
Yes.
And anyway.
It's not really non-contributing any longer, but we don't have to have that conversation any longer because we've already approved it.
Yeah.
Well, there have specifically been houses that have been non-contributing where we've still followed the guidelines on this
Yeah.
exact issue, so.
Now I'll have to withdraw my motion then. You've convinced me I can't go there with the parking, and I'm sorry.
Wow.
Can they put any kind of compliant gravel down?
Pea gravel?
Pea gravel, is that possible if they chose to do that?
I think that would be creating a parking spot.
So that would-
Yeah, it's not a material issue, I think, you know.
I have to say, this is actually very sad. And the reason being, I'm someone that's coming in trying to restore the neighborhood. It makes me not to ever want to buy another historic house, to be quite honest with you. And I have talked to so many investors that feel the same way. This is ridiculous, especially when everyone, I'm sorry, on F Street is not historic. It is not historic. You can try to make it historic, it is not historic. There's nothing about it that's historic.
I would say that this house was originally moved from Capitol Street, so it is a historic house, just because it's
It
on
might be historic
F
on
Street at
paper.
this point. Just to throw that in there.
It may be historic on paper, but there's nothing about this home that is historic. There's nothing about the area that's historic. This is a side street that gets no traffic.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Well, that's an interesting
So-
observation.
So do I hear a motion of any kind?
Before, I'd like, so is there another house on F Street that is there another building there that isn't historic? I mean, am I missing something?
This whole area is in the historic
Yeah,
district.
it's all
Okay,
in
so the-
his-
Yeah, and they all
Okay.
have shingled roofs. They all have vinyl windows and vinyl siding, and there are driveways in the front of the house.
And I think if
So-
any of those homeowners were to come before us and request changes, we would follow the guidelines in the same way, so.
Yeah, I think that's unquestionable.
However, they haven't, and so I'm getting punished when everyone else around has done whatever they wanted. I'm trying to do the right thing by homeowners that's going to be coming in. It's a very steep incline. If you have more than one vehicle, it's a very steep incline.
I think we're all pretty sympathetic to the plight of the street parking. I think, you know, and I totally understand that you're considering future homeowners. I think future homeowners need to consider the location of the house before they buy it and what can and cannot be done. So at that, I think I would make a motion to deny the parking in the front.
Okay, is there a second? We need,
You have an option to table it until the next meeting if you'd like input from the other commissioners who are not available to be here. Otherwise, we
Yeah,
do need to make a,
Let's do that.
That's a good idea.
yeah, okay.
I'll withdraw the motion then.
Okay, do I hear a motion to table this?
Yes, please.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right,
I
next.
think there was a couple other items on that.
I have one question regarding this. So as she brought up these other buildings that are not contributed, how did that occur before the committee was established with all these other
No.
buildings?
not
that-
sure.
No,
I'm asking
no,
her.
It's the whole area, the street is a historic district. So the buildings would be, we would follow the guidelines with anybody restoring them.
Okay, so she mentioned that these other buildings have, non-compliant, items on. How did that occur?
That occurred before it was a historic district.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
And
You're
it's
up.
the
Okay.
same with
Same
Julie's
with my,
house.
exact same with my
They
house. I
have-
have vinyl windows,
Okay.
vinyl siding, it's a mess, so.
When did it become a historic district?
I think Eve can tell us
Eve,
that.
I don't know that off the top of my
Because I
head.
was told that the house next to me, that I can see 3 homes from the living room there. I can see 3 homes that have the vinyl, have the shingles, have all of those things. And the one is a recent, within the past, I would say, year and a half, 2 years. So again, I'm not trying to get, anyone in trouble. I'm not trying to do any of that. However, I feel like this is very unfair because like he said, guidelines are guidelines. They are not rules of law. And this is getting a little ridiculous.
All right, thank you. Can we move on to the next item, please?
Eve, can you tell us what?
So I would just say it's typically what happens, it's a combination between people doing work without approval and us not catching it or not being told about it. We don't go out in the streets and, look around to see work that's being done. We don't have staff capacity for that. That's not what we're doing. The other thing would be work that's been done before it was a historic district. So often it's one of the two. I would say that work that's done without approval, as you're mentioning, does detract slowly from the entire historic district, which is why we try and follow the guidelines when we're presented with work. And just because one house does it, if another house does it, it adds up and pulls from the whole district. So I'm sorry you feel that it's unfair, but adding another house to that of not following the guidelines would be problematic and detract even more from the historic district. That whole area is in the district, so if you see something you'd like to report, please call us. We'll check it out.
Thank you, Eve. All right, what was left on the list?
The light fixture in the back.
Fixtures, okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so you understand we will take up the parking deck lot at our next meeting.
What about the paint?
There's one more item on this.
Oh,
The paint.
the paint, oh, okay. The paint is right down here if anybody has
Yep,
questions.
I'll pass it back down.
The paint scheme is nice. I make a motion to approve as submitted. And I know that was heavily dependent on the window color scheme. So if you decide to change it in the future, we can certainly review other colors, but I would make a motion to approve as submitted. Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much.
I would like to just add though, because Eve had said that if we do one more thing, it's taking away from the area. There's nothing about that area on that street that's historic. I just want to be clear when I say that, because I know it's being recorded, so if anyone else has to hear it. And when we have, I guess it's going to be tabled till the next meeting, there's nothing historic. I'm replacing the metal. I had to, get a special type of metal. I had to pay extra for that because we couldn't do the shingles. There was even a certain kind of metal that I couldn't do. So I'm doing the metal according to the historic guidelines. I'm doing the windows according to the historic guidelines. So even if we had the parking pad, that house is the only house that would even have a resemblance of anything historic about it. So I just want to be clear about that and make sure that's recorded and on record.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the restoration work that you're doing.
Yeah.
It will be my last, though, in the historic area.
Okay, our last item is the request of Dwayne Martin of Uprising Restorations to do extensive work at 712 Hancock. And are you Mr. Martin?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
If you would tell us your plan for 712 Hancock.
So this will be a full gut remodel. This will be my second home that's been remodeled in Daniels Hill. This would be the first historic one. Oddly enough, there's just one side of Hancock that is considered historic. I understand the guidelines. I'll follow them as much as I could, or whatever you would allow me to do. The main things, there is currently the rear door is on the side of the building in the back. We would like to put it in the actual back of the home, as you can see there. So you have our interior demo plans and what we would like to replace it with. I can come up and show you. So this is the current rear door. We would like to place here with a French door, the actual back of the home. The door here would be turned into a window for a bathroom.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The door that's there now, we would convert it to a window for a bathroom, half bath. This window is actually where the kitchen sink will be, so we're just asking to shorten it. And if you can go to the upstairs. There's a window here upstairs. I don't have to remove it. This is the architect's idea, because this is where the bed will probably go. But I'm fine with not having to put the window in. The window here, we want to put a full bath there. So as you can see, the wall runs right into the middle of that window.
Yeah.
So we would like to close that in to be able to get a full bath upstairs. Yeah, that's pretty much for outside windows and doors.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit confused. I don't know your materials, or did I miss all of that?
So
About what the windows would look like, what the door,
right.
did I?
So if you can go back to the original, to the picture of the home as it stands now. When I bought the home, some work was done to it already. I'm sure they got the metal roof approved because I looked it up on the GIS. It's a stand and seam metal roof. The windows are aluminum, are vinyl. Not my choice, personally. I do aluminum clad windows, but that's what was there when I purchased the home. They are new replacement windows. The front door would be a wooden door, and I have a picture that I sent her of my previous home on Norwood Street. It would be exactly like that door. And the back door would be, went blank. Fiberglass French door in the back.
Wait, I didn't understand.
Fiberglass
Fiberglass.
French door in the back, yeah.
You want to move the rear door to the side, is that correct?
It's to the side now.
Oh, you want to move it to the rear?
I want to move it to
Okay, I
the rear.
all right.
Right.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Are the French doors full light? Are they divided? Or do you know, like, is it paint, certain amount of panes in the windows of the French doors?
Just two
or just a
glass, full glass panes.
Full, okay.
Yeah.
And the windows that you're wanting to replace, are those, it looked like some of the original windows were 2/2. What was left, is that correct? From what I saw? 2/1 maybe, I can't.
Yeah.
Do we have any other picture? That one's 2/2. Are you wanting to do a certain configuration for that, or keep the 2/2
Yeah, I'll
for that?
keep it like that,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
And replace,
So,
replace vinyl with vinyl, is that what you're saying?
No, well, I'll keep those windows.
Keep
that
what's
they-
in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
If, that's what was in there. I just took the panes out because we were doing demo. I didn't want to damage the
Yeah.
windows. That's why they're not in there now. Which, as you can see, the framing is still there.
So all the framing for all the windows is in place?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And they're all the same?
yeah.
Okay.
But you're talking about on the sides, shortening one window because of the kitchen.
Right.
And then getting rid of one on the downstairs because of a bathroom. Is that?
So go back to
Yeah,
that picture.
And so, and so only one side of the house is in a historic district? I want to make sure I know.
One side of the street.
Okay, one side of the street, okay. And you happen to be on that side?
Right.
Okay.
You go back to the previous picture of the home, back one more. So this window, we would like to close in to get our bathroom. As you can see, that's the door, the current,
And you would close, make that into a window?
that into a window.
For the kitchen.
On the other side, there's a window down below that we would like to shorten, right here, for the kitchen sink.
But you can be the other one, that same.
That's gonna stay.
And so all these windows are either back or side, but not front, that you're changing?
Right.
Yeah, okay. I knew that, but I wanted to say it out loud, and whether you agree, yeah. Yeah.
What size window would you like to install in that last pic?
The smaller one.
Yeah, the same
The one
size
above
as the
the
smaller
kitchen.
one?
This kitchen sink one.
The kitchen sink, if you guys want to put your input on that, that's fine, I'll do whatever you, I just want to be able to get it. It needs to be, countertop, I just think it's 42, 40 inches, it just needs to be about that. It's not going to be a tiny window.
I think as long as I think in the past, we've approved shortening windows on the sides of homes, as long as the width is the same, and then it sits at the top where the original window would have sat, then you can bring it up from the bottom. I think that's kind of what we've approved in the past, and I would feel comfortable approving.
And we've always focused on the front facade.
yes.
Keeping that original.
What were the other items?
Okay.
There's a lot on that list.
Replace-
Oof.
Board and cement.
It's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, isn't it? That house has not seen a lot of love recently.
So tell us about the front porch railing.
So it needs to be replaced. I will replace it with exactly what was there. So I work with a local woodworker from Grayson Ferguson. So I take them a piece of the railing and they can scribe it and make the exact same thing. So it's a pretty standard
It
front
looked to
porch
be in good
railing.
shape, pretty good shape. It looked to be in pretty good
Yeah,
shape.
they're rotted.
Oh.
Yeah, they're in, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
The deck.
And just
Okay.
replace it as it looks now.
As it
with
look-
new.
exact same
You wouldn't
thing.
choose to do that unless you needed to.
Right.
Okay.
If I could repair it, believe me, I would repair it.
Okay. All right. The second floor deck.
There's your elevation of it.
Uh,
And I have some renderings on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
So I think that would be your second floor deck that she has in the back of the home.
so I must say that I have never seen a historic house with a second floor deck.
Actually, mine had one originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I had a
Granted,
sleeping
it's a different
porch.
neighborhood, but I had a second
We've
floor.
got a sleeping porch, but
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah, that's true.
1916
Yeah.
house, was the house we lived in until we chose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this, you mean? Yeah.
It is at the rear of the home. I mean, it's not visible from the street at all.
But it's a major modification of the dwelling itself too. And it looks very modern to me. I'm sorry, Julie, I cut you
No,
off.
that's okay. I was just going to make a comment on, the porch on the front extends from one side of the house to the other fully, and I was wondering about the back deck, if that should also extend the full width of the house. It looks like it's a little bit short. I don't know if that's something
It
that
is,
we
it
would
is a
be-
bit short. I can extend it all the way out if need be.
So are you planning to make 2 apartments?
No, it's
Is-
just
no,
one house,
so-
yeah.
no.
So that back deck, you'll be able to walk out from the top bedroom and just access the deck.
Teresa, are you looking at deck guidelines
I'm
or?
actually looking at windows.
Okay.
Only because I was just thinking of a house that's been before us a few times as of late.
Yeah. I
And
know
I'm
which one.
thinking of the sides, and I just want to make sure we're being consistent, that's all. Does say that new window openings should not be added on the fronts of dwellings and are discouraged but may be acceptable at the rear or sides if not visible from the street. So in this case, the sides, is that, what is your street visibility from on the side? Or is it-
So where the kitchen window needs to be shortened, you can see that from the street.
You can.
The other side where I would like to close in the window, it's not that much visible.
Okay.
Because the houses are so close together.
Yeah, sure.
You can't really see.
Given that the front will look the same, and these are improvements to a house that has been neglected clearly for a very long time, and they said discourage, doesn't say we don't recommend, it said discourage on the sides. I'm okay with the windows. As far as the deck on the back, it's a little more of a stretch.
Yeah, I think it's a big
Yeah.
stretch.
I'm looking at the deck guidelines. It says, porches are preferred to decks, but decks are acceptable at the rear facades of the building. And it goes on to talk about side decks, which is not what we're considering here. Should be stained or painted to match the blend with the colors of the building. Should be simple rather than ornate. If visible from the street, it's recommended. They have square wood balusters set no more than 3 inches apart. So I glanced at that too quickly. Is that what we're seeing here with the balusters? Are they square or?
You can pass this down first.
So my problem is the second floor.
Yeah.
That,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that it looks very modern
Different, yeah.
to me.
But does it, I mean, I hear you, but I don't see that I don't see that it,
Yeah.
Doesn't really say anything about second floor.
yeah, I don't see that we have, that we can deny it based on the guidelines. Like, I hear you. The window on the side that's visible from the street, and again, I think it's great, I want to say to go for it, but in the windows, I feel that one on the side, I feel like is more of a iffy on the guidelines than the deck.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't see I mean,
Yeah.
what we would, elevated
As I
decks
said,
on
my
the,
issue is second floor. If it's first floor, I don't have a problem, but I've never seen a deck on a historic house, and I've seen lots of historic houses, so.
it does say elevated decks.
What does it say?
It says
about-
present challenges that can be addressed on an individual basis.
Yeah, that's talking about the visibility of it.
And this one would not be.
You can't see it at all.
Can't see.
What did you say?
It's talking about the visibility of the deck, and for an elevated deck may present challenges that must be addressed on an individual basis. This far.
Oh, because if it's on the corner, or, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But it says they should be located at their rear of
Which
the
is actually why
building.
we shortened it.
Well, and I was just gonna
so
say,
you
from
can't
a
see it.
visibility perspective, it does make sense to keep the footprint that you've got there, so you're not
Right.
seeing it when you're walking up and down the sidewalk.
I don't see a basis to deny. I'm open to what we would deny it based on.
It's okay. So we don't always agree, but we do need to know materials, colors. Is it wood? What
Yeah,
is
that's-
Yeah, the deck would be wood. I haven't chosen colors yet. If you guys would like to, you know,
Please don't paint it white.
no, I'm not going to paint it white.
And it does say that they can be wood.
It
They
said
can be
they
left wood.
should be stained or
Yeah.
painted to match or blend with the colors
Yeah,
of the building.
right, yeah.
So-
I'm not going to leave it.
I think if there's no proposal for colors today, then maybe we come back to that when
We'd
they're.
have to
Yeah,
come back to that.
I wanted to come back. I
Yeah.
haven't decided on colors just
Sure,
yet.
yeah.
What were you saying, Eve?
So in this drawing, it does say aluminum railing system.
Yeah,
but
we're
Is
not-
it gonna be wood?
It's going to be wood, yeah,
It would have to be wood.
yeah.
Okay, light fixtures.
Yep. So light fixtures would be similar to that. Just add one to the front, two at the rear of the home.
Is this another home in the historic district?
Well, it's
Or
on the
opposite.
borderline of the historic district. I finished that one a year ago.
Okay.
This is
That's on the corner
outside.
of Nolan.
Outside, okay. I was gonna say, this like feels very ornate for the style of house.
It's very ornate for this style of house. I would,
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure it would.
No.
I'd go with simpler and maybe less expensive.
Yeah.
But simpler would fit the house.
Honestly, probably
more.
something that we saw in the last application, like, that would be a little bit
Yeah.
more coherent, I think. Do you have the lighting guidelines on here, Eve?
Yeah.
There's something about not being too
I
Williamsburg.
think there's like an example that
Gotcha.
probably would work really well, or something along those lines.
Very, I saw
Yeah.
Williamsburg at the top, sees
Yeah.
simpler.
Probably the one in the middle, or even the one on the left. I think the one on the right it's a little bit pressed maybe, but, I mean, yeah, I was like, either of those would probably be fine.
Yeah, that's not a big, whatever you choose with that, I'm fine with. I actually thought you would have liked the light that was on the
Right,
black house.
I get that,
That's
yeah.
why.
I do really like it personally.
Just for the style of house
Just for
it
the
is.
style of house, yeah.
It makes sense to go simpler.
So do we want to table that until we have a material to review?
Just select two or three.
Yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
come back, or even, is that something, Eve, that you could approve administratively if they're very consistent with the images?
Yeah, if the commission wanted to make that motion.
Okay.
Okay.
And I could coordinate with the representative, the advocate.
Should we do that motion separately or combined?
It's up to you guys.
I'll make a motion to, is
Yeah,
there-
let's
haven't approved
go
anything
through
yet.
the whole.
So you
Yeah,
want to
we
go
haven't
through?
approved any
Okay,
yet, yeah.
okay.
Let's just,
I don't know if we're
if
doing
you
it
don't mind, and then we can
It's
come
totally
back.
fine.
Okay, item 8 is to install a concrete or concrete paver patio.
That's at the rear of the home.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Did we talk about the front door? Did we do that one? That was.
I think he did mention the front door is going to be like a half light that he has in his other house.
Okay,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
okay.
With the wood finish.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, install a 6-foot privacy fence. And we would need to know what kind of fence.
Yeah. So it would be wood, and it's on the render in there.
Okay.
And where would the fence be?
Will it be
In the rear.
stained
In the
or-
rear.
Yep.
Is this six?
Stained, painted.
Yeah, it would be painted.
Select colors and just painted.
Yep.
And where would it be?
It's in the rear of the home,
Only in the rear?
only in the rear. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a retaining wall,
In the rear.
42 inches.
Yep. So the way the land sits now, there's a huge slope down to the back of the house, which quite honestly, this house should be torn down.
Right.
Based on the damage that it's had. I love the neighborhood. I live in that neighborhood. If you've seen 501 Norwood before it was remodeled, you kind of understand. But I need that wall to prevent future damage and erosion to what I'm going to be fixing there.
Ben, is everything okay with the law from your perspective?
It requires signal to block and anything over 2 feet needs a building permit, but as long as he does that, it's
Okay,
fine.
great, thank you.
Okay. And paint. Do you have?
I will come back to
scheme?
colors. Yeah, I haven't chosen colors as yet.
Okay. And that is something you could approve, Eve, if it,
Depending on the color.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Be pretty far away from paint at this point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm a long way. And the whole first floor foundation is completely shot. You know, it's a lot of work over there.
What year is this house built?
1930. It's not that old.
So do you want to make
wants
your
to go for it?
motion to pull out the light and the color scheme of this?
I will do that, sure. I'll make a motion to allow administrative approval for the light and the colors,
Gotcha.
If possible.
If possible.
if
That's it.
possible.
Yeah. Okay, is there a second?
And everything else as is, right?
Well,
Or this is a
to
separate
pull it
issue.
out,
Just
yeah.
those two.
Yeah, I'll second those two items.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You have any questions about what we've done that you would make a new proposal and submit it to Eve?
Yeah, no, that's,
Okay.
I'm okay with that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the remainder of the application?
I'll make that motion to approve the remainder of the application as submitted.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Am I allowed to abstain because I don't want to vote against the whole motion, but I'm against?
I think you have to have a reason, like,
Okay, then I will
Yeah.
vote no. So. The motion passes, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, you did good work.
You have some work ahead of you.
Well, just to make sure, I don't think did we discuss siding? I don't think we did.
You're
Yeah,
replacing
what
with
I-
the cement?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, we approved that as part of the
We did?
second
Okay.
motion, yep, so you're good to go with that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bill, do you want these back? Unless you need it.
send those to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I got those.
Oh, you can have those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we'll go back to our annual business. And the first item is the election of a chair and vice chair.
So if someone wants to nominate a commissioner for role of chair, and then we can vote on it.
So we need a nomination for the chair.
Can someone read up?
Oh, yeah.
I nominate Shannon to be.
I second.
So, this is the last year.
That's fine.
So,
One more year?
We'll take a week again.
Are there more?
I'll second the motion.
Wait, did you already?
I second.
Okay,
Okay.
let's call for a
Third the
vote.
motion.
Are you willing to stand? Are you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's not,
Okay,
so
vote.
we need a vote.
Yes.
Aye.
Great. Shannon, you're still chair.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome. All right,
Has Mike
for
expressed any
vice chair.
opinions about,
He has not to me, unless,
He's not said anything to me
well, I would
either.
nominate him to continue on.
I will second
Like a
that.
good fight.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's what he gets for not being. So, he's good, though. He's really good. So, all right, thank you all. We have any bylaws changes?
I do
Eve?
not.
Okay, and advocate designations. We can change our districts if we wish, and maybe we want to think about it and let Eve know. Is there anybody here who right now would like to change?
I'm good with Diamond Hill.
Yeah, I'm good with mine too, yeah.
Great.
Okay, all right. Well, our next meeting is August 19th. Maybe it'll be cool by then. So, we are adjourned. Thank